If you are a woman over 30 trying to get abs, this is for you. This is how women over 30 get abs in 16 weeks, the complete guide to getting a toned core. Here's just a couple of examples of people we work with. So this is my client, Ivy. We lost about 24 pounds in 16 weeks for her to get flat stomach, feeling great in a bikini. And here is one of our clients, Angela, who at the age of 50 for her 50th birthday did a boudoir photo shoot. So this is similar to what they did and what we did with them. I'm going to show you step by step what to do it. So this will work for you even if you have limited time, if you struggle with your hormones, if you had kids over 30. Vast majority of our clients are 30, 35, 40 years old, have multiple kids, have had issues with their hormones in the past. They're usually very busy, whether it be full-time mom, career, they have their hands full. So we are making this so that it can be efficient. It's going to optimize your hormones. It's going to work even if you had kids, even if you're over 30 where you have a bit of a slower metabolism. We're going to show you how to do it. All right, so let's get into it. So the methodology, in order to get lean toned abs, we're going to be focusing on two things primarily: training the core so that we can build up the muscle, and two, reducing body fat so you can really show it off. Okay, so quick little anatomy lesson. So the first thing is body fat hides your muscles. Everybody has abs, all right? Everybody has abs. Just how much body fat you have hides those abs. So if you have a layer of body fat here that is hiding the muscle, doesn't matter how developed your abs are, you're not going to be able to see it. So we want to make sure that we are reducing this body fat as we are training this core so that we can make the muscles poke through as well as bringing the body fat down so you can actually show off a developed core. Okay, so getting lean requires visible abs. You might have heard people say abs are made in the kitchen. This is because it requires losing body fat much more than actually like training. You can work your abs as much as you want, and yes, that's going to help. But if you have too much body fat, you're not going to be able to see it. Okay, so first things first, pillar number one is actually training the core. So make sure you're training your core in all its functions. So if you want to have a well-developed core looking really good, instead of just kind of ending up like skinny fat when you lose weight, you do want to still train your core. I think people take the abs are made in the kitchen so literally and to the extreme where they just don't ever train their abs. You should still train your abs. So you want to do all of the core functions. So deep core, especially if you're a woman who's had kids, very important that you're working on the deep core muscles, pelvic floor, all these kinds of things. Very, very important. A couple examples are posterior pelvic tilt planks, as well as dead bugs. That really just like tightens up the core. Okay. Next is the lower abs. So if you're trying to have like that V cut, again, it comes down to body fat as well. But if you want to develop the musculature there, doing things like reverse crunches, gar hammers, leg raises, all going to be great aspects for doing that. The six pack muscles, these ones back here that we saw, these are going to be developed through crunches. Okay, so crunch variations, crunches, cable crunches, band crunches, some form of crunching, that's going to develop those six pack muscles. That's the one that most people want to hit. And then obliques. If you want to have like that nice serrated side on the core, I really love that look personally. Oblique crunch, cable twist, Russian twist, cable twist, all those are great aspects. So you want to make sure that you are training all of the aspects of your core so that when you do shred down, you're looking really good. Next thing is eat in a calorie deficit consistently. So a lot of people say, hey, I'm in a calorie deficit, but I'm not losing weight. That is an oxymoron. If you are not losing weight, you are not in a calorie deficit by definition, or you have not been in a calorie deficit for a sustained enough period to lose weight. If you're in a calorie deficit for 2 weeks, you will 100% have lost weight. So if you're not, there's something wrong with your nutrition. So what we have our clients do is multiply your body weight in kilograms by between 27 and 30 to find your deficit. So whatever your body weight is, if you weigh yourself in pounds, just convert that into kilograms. So take your body weight, divide that by 2.2. Now multiply that number by between 27 and 30. 30 is about maintenance, maybe a deficit. I like to start my calories higher and then work my way down as necessary. So you want to be weighing yourself multiple times a week and then seeing, is my weight dropping? If your weight is not dropping, you just need to reduce those calories just a little bit. This works 100% of the time, okay? As long as you're eating single ingredient whole foods, this is going to work. Eat 1 gram of protein per centimeter of height. I personally don't like the 1 gram per pound of body weight because on the extreme ends of weight, it doesn't work as well. So for example, if you're 200 or 250 pounds, you realistically probably don't need 250 grams of protein as a 250 pound woman. You probably don't need that much, right? And then on the other side of that, if you're very thin and you're like 100 pounds, 110 pounds, 120 pounds, I think you could probably use a little bit more. So I like meter of height. So find your height in centimeters. That's how many grams of protein you are. Okay. You want to eat primarily single ingredient whole foods. What this means is don't be eating processed foods, not good for you. And it also is going to disrupt the calorie equation. So make sure you're having single ingredient whole foods. Include vegetables in 2 meals per day, specifically green vegetables. I have personally found anecdotally with myself and my clients, They say, all calories are created equal. I personally don't believe that. I think the best I've ever looked, I've been eating vegetables twice a day, things like green beans, asparagus, broccoli, carrots as well, mixed veggies, very good for you. And then 2 to 3 pieces of fruit per day. This also helps with just the vitamins, the micronutrients, the electrolytes, physically feeling good, the fiber, so you can go to the bathroom regularly as well. So making sure that and it'll keep you full, which makes it a lot easier to be in a calorie deficit instead of being hungry all the time. Next up is movement and lifestyle. So cardio and steps, they're not the most important part, but they definitely play their part. So I would personally, if you're really looking to lose body fat fast, I would do a little bit of cardio. So 20 to 30 minute cardios post workout. So prioritize your workout, do your lifts, your upper body lifts, your lower body lifts, do some abs. At the end of your workout, do 20 to 30 minutes on the cardio. You don't need to be like going crazy, but you should be sweating. You should be pushing yourself for about 20 to 30 minutes. Okay. I also like to get about 6 to 12,000 steps a day. Wherever you're at right now, just make a little bump. If you're at 6K, go to 8K. If you're at 8K, go to 10. If you're at 1K, go to 3. Like, just make a little bump of what you're currently doing. A lot of people who are at desk jobs, I work a desk job, I have to be very intentional to get above 6,000 steps a day. So if I was just doing my work, I'd probably honestly get 1,000, 2,000 steps a day. I go to the gym, maybe get another 1 or 2,000. You have to be intentional about it. So wherever you're at, make a small jump and then you can adjust from there. Doing this extra movement will help you burn body fat faster. Pay attention to recovery. So don't be pushing more at the expense of recovery, meaning would you lose weight faster if you did 20,000 steps a day and 60 minutes of cardio every day? Yes, because you're burning more calories. However, you might get sick. You might find yourself getting run down. You might have very intense cravings because the more you do, the more demand of recovery there is as well. So you have to have that balance or else you end up in that like major energy debt where you're super hungry, your recovery is not great, you get sick, that kind of thing. So manage your recovery first and foremost. The most important aspect of this is the training and the nutrition. I like to look at the movement and the lifestyle just like a little bit of a complement to that. It's the cherry on top to help accelerate things. Another major pillar that is super important, in my opinion, the most neglected pillar is sleep and recovery. So make sure you're getting about 7 to 9 hours of sleep. I always make that concession 7 to 9 because I know moms are usually busy. And if you're over 30, you probably have a lot going on and getting 8 hours or 9 hours of sleep is not always feasible. But I think if you prioritize it and you get 8 or 9 hours, it is sufficient. It is definitely better 8 or 9 hours than 7 hours. And 6 and below, I would just view that in your mind as like almost non-negotiable. You can't do that because it's really going to impact your recovery, negatively impacts your hormones. A lot of women I talk to, they're mentioning like, hey, like I have hormonal issues. So many hormonal issues are actually within our control through the lifestyle factors that we do, how much we train, our nutrition, and sleep is one of the biggest predictors of good or poor hormones. So take control of what you can in prioritizing sleep. Take 2 full rest days per week. So have 2 days where you're not doing any exercise. You can get some steps, don't do any cardio, but like have 2 full rest days so that you can maximize recovery. Nail your nutrition on rest days too. It's not just on days that you work out. And we also want to train our abs only 2 to 3 times a week so we can recover. I have some real go-getters on our team who say, Shaun, I want to train every day. I want to do my abs every day to get them here faster. It doesn't work that way. Your muscles need a chance to recover as well. And biggest thing here is consistency is key, right? If you're just doing things for a couple days and then falling off, you're not going to get the result. This is why people say, I'm in a calorie deficit, I'm not losing. You were probably in a calorie deficit for like 1 or 2 days and then you stopped tracking or you went out to eat or whatever. Like you have to be more consistent, right? So results don't come from one perfect week. They come from showing up consistently. And if you are somebody who needs guidance, accountability, apply for one-on-one coaching. Click the link in the description. I'd love to chat with you, see if we can possibly help. Here's another couple examples of clients that we work with. This is Allie. When she came on with us, she was a single mom with 2. She's in a thriving relationship now. She cut way back on drinking. We have seen such a big improvement in Allie, and she's actually coaching clients herself now as well. This is Steph. Steph worked out for years and was really seeing some results, but not as much as she wanted. It was a really big goal of hers to like increase her glute size, get stronger, become much better at working out. She's definitely done that. This is Jamie. Jamie came to us about 50 pounds overweight, and we lost a ton of weight. As you can see, this is a very dramatic before and after. She now teaches yoga, so she also got into the fitness space. And this is Emma. Emma went from like 210 pounds down to like 145 or something here. Insane. One of our biggest transformations ever. Emma was awesome to work with as well. So we have worked with people from all different backgrounds, all different body types. If you are somebody who's already consistently working out and you're feeling stuck, click the link in the description. I'd love to help you out. This has been me, Shaun Sidey. I hope you enjoyed. Talk to you soon.